The Bachelor party finally gives the last member of our Angel Investigations trio some backstory to work with. In a season that has to this point felt a little drab or awkward at times, the Bachelor party is nothing but fun. Angel is aiming for another evening with a good book. I'm thinking Descartes this time. Cordeilla is going out for an evening with an early 2000s lunkhead that Doyle and Angel grill at the door. I was struck by how dated her date actually looked compared to how timeless charisma looked in that dress. Doyle's jealousy is showing, as is his insecurity. He's given a vision and he and Angel set out for a little Angel-style entertainment. Cordy's date, talking about stock options, provides her a harsh contrast to the life that she has versus the one she thinks she wants. Doyle is for some reason unwilling to fight in his stronger demon form, which Angel comments on. After Cordy's date abandons her to a vampire, we see Doyle's reluctance to go demon taking a toll. He saves her, and Cordy seems to notice. As Cordy begins to take a chance, in through the door walks Doyle's wife, Harry. Harry is getting engaged, and her fiancé, Richard, is played by Carlos Jacot, another actor to repeat in the Buffyverse as a different character. Jacot played the cultish demon in the episode Anne.
Well, someone sure handed you a tall tale.
Harry has brought Doyle divorce papers so she can move on. Doyle laments lost love with Angel as he nods knowingly. Angel bends to Doyle's desire to check into Richard. There is a shot I really like of Richard walking through a dark alley and Angel following on the rooftop. Very Batman. Angel sees Richard go demon with his fiancée and attacks. Turns out Harry already knew and Richard is just a fuddy-duddy demon. This leads to Doyle coming to understand something significant.
No, Harry didn't leave because of the demon in me. She left because of me.
Harry's entourage are sitting around planning the party itself.
And then we have the ritual eating of the first husband's brains, and then charades.
Wait, what was that? Charades?
Doyle brings Angel to the bachelor party, which throws a wrench in the works for the entourage. Angel sees the ritual occurring and gets kicked from the party. Doyle consents to endorsing Richard, unwittingly agreeing to let Richard eat his brains. He tries to back out.
Well, I see. Now I'm not so sure I even want to eat your brains.
Angel breaks up the scene and Richard gets in trouble with Harriet, and the episode ends with Doyle having a vision of a certain someone in danger. This is a good one. Glenn Quinn's performance of Doyle as a squirrely, anxious, and reluctant do-gooder has been fun to watch, but until this episode hadn't really been given any meat to work with. His backstory with Harriet is nice to take in, as Quinn wears Doyle's grief on his sleeve, as well as his eventual willingness to move forward. Again, Doyle's story here acts as an interesting and obvious parallel to Angel's. Doyle's struggle with his demon was also ultimately responsible for the loss of his relationship. Borrowing a page from Buffy's structure so far in 7 episodes, if the plot wasn't about Angel specifically, the story related to him metaphorically. It's not a plot device they sustain, but it occurred to me this episode what a useful way it was of revealing Angel's backstory early on. At least, the emotional underpinnings of it. Cordy's shame over who she was, and her belief that her current state in life is a sentence.
And if it goes away, it's like...
Like what?
Like I'm still getting punished.
Punished? For what?
I don't know. For how I was.
Doyle's relationship here.
You know, Harry didn't leave because of the demon in me. She left because of me.
It's not the demon in me that needs killing, Buffy. It's the man.
Anyone who'd not watched Buffy early on could still have a strong emotional grasp of Angel's part in it thanks to these early episodes. Of course, Richard's brain-eating tradition is hilarious commentary on the very idea of bachelor parties themselves and other archaic customs. It's believed that as far back as the Spartans, men used to assemble to drink and celebrate a groom's final night being single. It wasn't until the 1960s that women began having bachelorette parties, a tradition altogether different than the bridal shower. The episode's opening cuts between Cordy's rich but tedious dinner date juxtaposed against Angel and Doyle's cleaning out of the vampire's nest, and was a nice lead-in to where her story might go, though I'm still getting undistinguished echoes of other bits from Buffy. Doyle's rescuing Cordeilla and her ensuing smitten reminded me a bit of Xander saving her in Some Assembly Required.
Do you mind? We're talking here.
It is interesting that she describes both Xander and Doyle as fixer-uppers when the lacking characteristics that make them so, namely wealth and success, are things she's also lacking. I love that contradiction. The episode doesn't exactly raise some new questions regarding the lore so much as pushes them farther. Does Richard's demonness introduce a continuity problem?
I just want us all to be friends.
Is it ever explicitly stated that all demons are soulless? We did have Whistler.
A demon technically. I mean, I'm not a bad guy.
And the demon Faith killed to get the Books of Ascension. Doyle's soul is assumed a part of his human half, but clearly demons can be good guys, capable of some degree of altruism. Sure, Richard and his clan nearly engage in a barbaric ceremony, but it is just that, ceremony. Something we covered in the Cruciamentum in Helpless. Clearly, Richard loves Harry, and most of the demons are living normal suburban lives. But what about vampires? In The Harvest, Giles reads from The Origin of Vampires.
The books tell that the last demon to leave this reality fed off a human. He was a human form possessed, infected by the demon's soul.
So if humans have human souls and demons have demon souls, this may yet again be an argument that flies in the face of Whedon saying the soul is simply the moral compass, an idea that much of Buffy's metaphorical framework is built around. If you're a new fan of either Buffy or Angel, understand this conversation has no end. Whedon himself said he would always prefer to go for an emotional truth, even if it meant contradicting the lore in some fashion. And he's right, I think that is the higher aspiration. But as fans, we'll never stop talking about it.